Most people think that entrepreneurship is freedom, but many do not see the pressure, the fear, and the uncertainty that lies with it.
So welcome to SES Mic Unfiltered, and we don't do any boring conversations here, powered by Seen, Unseen and Rehearse.
And today we are joined by someone who did not just dream about entrepreneurship but built it with grit and resilience.
So we have the founder of Twirl Store, an entrepreneur and a change maker, Miss Sujata Chaterjee.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, ma'am. So to start simple, can you tell us about your journey of entrepreneurship?
So I am the founder of Twirl Store, which is a social enterprise working to reduce urban wastage and use that to empower rural communities. But my background was not in this, so I'm an engineer by degree and I used to work in the IT sector.
Okay.
But I got, into this problem because I felt it in my own life. There was a point when I felt my own wardrobe and home was full of things that I knew I would not use anymore, and yet I didn't know what to do with it. So I randomly started asking people around me, what do I do with what I don't need? The funny thing was, everyone I asked said we have the exact same problem, but no one knew the answer. That led me to kind of think that if this is such a large problem, especially in the urban cities today, then shouldn't there be an ongoing solution for this? And when I did a little bit of research, I realized that the wastage and consumption, overconsumption has a huge effect on the environment. But I think what bothered me even more was we live in a country like India, and the social disparity and the social impact of this problem was something that really concerned me. So I decided to build a business model where we would take care of this urban waste and use that to empower rural communities while also not harming the environment in any way. So that was how my entrepreneurship journey with Twirl started. So this is exactly what we do at Twirl. We collect unwanted things from homes, offices, everywhere. Part of that is actually repaired and redistributed to those who need it, and the rest of the things are actually upcycled, which means the material is reused to create something completely new. And this entire work is done by the rural women, so it gives them a source of livelihood as well. Whereas these upcycled products that we create, like bags, accessories, gift items, etc., they go out to organizations as well as individuals for their regular use. And using that same concept, we now make huge sustainable installations also. So that has been the very interesting journey of Twirl.
Such a kind initiative.
That was really inspiring, ma'am. So, ma'am, what was your life like before entrepreneurship?
So as I told you, my background or education was in engineering and then management, and then I'd worked in the corporate sector in a whole different world, the IT world. I used to work in one of the largest IT companies in the world, in Hewlett Packard. And I am also a hands-on mother, so my life was very much full with my two children. Now I think I'd like to say that entrepreneurship or Twirl has not really changed my life per se. I still do the things that I do. Maybe I just have a large chunk of time allotted to Twirl as well. But I would like to believe that I've kept the balance between who I was or what I did before Twirl and after Twirl kind of the same. So I still spend a lot of time with my children. I still do the things that I love. But of course, Twirl has a priority.
So for the next question, I would like to ask you, what did entrepreneurship take from you before giving you back something?
That's a very interesting question. So luckily, I think I'm a very grounded person because of the way I've been brought up, or the circumstances and situations I've seen. But even then, I think entrepreneurship, especially the kind of entrepreneurship I do, social entrepreneurship, it takes away any bit of ego you may have had. So if I had to say, I would say that if I had maybe 1% of ego also, entrepreneurship ensured that, that faded away before anything came back. I think to be a, hands-on entrepreneur, especially at the ground level, you have to let go of ego, you have to let go of, certain preferences, certain way you want things to be. You have to go with the flow and be open to, whatever the journey brings to you.
Okay.
Welcome to Entrepreneurship Rumors, Mike. We say a statement and you say truth, cap, or complicated.
But where do you say it? With this Chotu mic.
So the first question is that you need big money to be an entrepreneur.
Cap.
College students can't build serious businesses.
Cap.
In Kolkata, business growth is slow.
Cap.
Okay. Would you like to explain this one, because people think that Kolkata has no opportunities?
Who are these people? That is the first question.
Okay.
Usually the people who are saying this are not the people who are building the businesses. Usually it is, people who are maybe watching from outside or don't really know what's happening in Kolkata who mostly say this. And of course it could be a personal opinion of a few individuals within the ecosystem as well. But Kolkata has always had a lot of successful legendary businesses even in our history, and Kolkata continues to have a lot of strong businesses even today. And of course some startups or small businesses may come and go and fade. That is equally true for any other city as well. So I think the question can be that can startups fail, or do startups fail? Yes, true. Do startups fail in Kolkata? Then, why is that a pointed question? Do startups not fail in any other city in India? Do they not fail in any other country in the world? So I don't think it is fair to pinpoint the failure, or I wouldn't even say failure, but maybe not so large a success on a city per se. I think it depends on the individual largely, because there are far too many examples around us that show otherwise.
Very true. So the next one is, women entrepreneurs get easy support.
It's complicated.
Okay.
Moving on to the third segment, the reality check. We say some statement and you expose the true reality behind it. Let's get real. So, is there any ugly side to entrepreneurship?
I wouldn't say there's an ugly side to entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship is a very difficult journey, and somehow these days we have glamorized it to the extent that people only think of the perks of entrepreneurship, they think of the fame, they think of the money, but I think it's not spoken enough on the effort that actually goes into it, the hardship, the years and years and years of toil before you actually get true success. So I don't think that is talked about enough, and hence if someone does not know it or is not aware of it and they get into entrepreneurship and then they face this, they will surely say that there's an ugly side to entrepreneurship. But I think it's not fair to call it an ugly side. It is another side of entrepreneurship.
What opportunities do youths of Kolkata fail to see that the outsiders may easily catch on?
I don't think they fail to see it, but maybe they are risk averse, and so they would not like to maybe take up a lot of opportunities that maybe people outside may be willing to. There may be, the family or friends who are not encouraging them enough to kind of take up those opportunities. I think it is more of those social factors rather than them not being able to see the opportunities, and also maybe a little bit of motivation also. So you have to be self-motivated to be able to not only spot the opportunity but to do something about it. So I told you my own story, and I of course didn't spot it as a student, because I spotted that opportunity much later in life. But even then, as I told you, I faced a problem of simply my wardrobe being too full of things. When I talked to people, everyone told me they face the same problem. But no one else, even though they had faced that problem, thought about doing something with it. I thought that why can't we solve this problem? It's such a basic problem, and went deep into it, and then solved it. So often it is a case of you might know the problem, you might see the opportunity, but do you feel that urge or that motivation to go ahead and solve it?
Now, what is harder, building a brand in Kolkata or scaling it outside Kolkata?
I think scaling it outside Kolkata would probably be a little harder. Building a brand in Kolkata, you may customize it as per the ecosystem, the needs people in Kolkata may have, or the kind of stories they relate to. Once you take it outside Kolkata or outside India, you have to make your products as well as everything from your photos to the way you talk about your company to everything relatable to everyone. It is no longer just for one community or one city or one set of people. So your outlook has to be much bigger, and your storytelling has to accordingly fit into that.
So the next segment is mic drop round, and the Choto is back. No thinking, just honest instinct. So, respect or revenue?
Respect, always.
Degree or skill?
Both.
Okay. Safe salary or uncertain freedom?
Uncertain freedom.
Okay. Fear of loss or fear of regret?
Fear of regret. At this age.
Okay. Security or ownership?
That's a hard one. Ownership.
Okay. Family approval or self-belief?
Self-belief.
Okay, thank you. Comfort zone or chaos zone?
Yes.
The last one, transition or tradition?
Transition, always.
Okay.
So yeah, moving on to the final question. If a 19-year-old would be watching this podcast today, or any student, what is the first thing that they need to stop doing, and what advice would you give them from your side?
I wouldn't say, stop doing anything. Do everything, but do it with a lot of love and sincerity. Do it with a lot of self-belief. I strongly believe that if you don't believe in yourself, then no one else will. So whatever it is that you do, whether you want to pursue your studies further, whether you want to take up entrepreneurship, whether you want to go in for a job, do it with confidence and self-belief, and not with the expectation that everyone else around you is going to come and kind of encourage you that please do this, you're going to be great at this, and then you're going to do it. I think if I have to say give up something, maybe give up that expectation that everyone else has to help in your journey. If they do, well and good, but even if they don't, you yourself have the potential to be an amazing person. So be you and be the best version of you.
This was not only a podcast, this was a masterclass.
Thank you, ma'am, for being real, unfiltered and honest with us. It was
Thank
great
you.
listening to you, and I hope a lot of students will be inspired by you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.